are playing here. And I am going to walk up the street. This is my favorite place to walk. The water's nice and shallow and it's super cold. So we have some 90-degree humid days today and what's coming the next few days. This is my favorite spot to come hang out. Not in the AC, not in a store, not at an office. I love to come sit here in the water, walk in the cold, very cold, freezing cold water, and look at the flowers that I can discover along the sides. So I'm going to show you a couple of the flowers that I've found. So this is our walking, it's a bike trail above us here. It's called the Red Cedar Bike Trail. And it runs all along the river. It's a really beautiful trail to go on if you ever get the chance. So over here, and the water is quite shallow. It's really low right now, actually. Sometimes it usually goes up to like my thigh to get through certain areas, but right now it's barely to my calf. So it's quite low. But over here, I found these little forget-me-nots. And this is the only place I have ever found these. They're so adorable. I'm trying to get there's a really beautiful little blue color to them. There we go. And these are I made a flower essence with these that help support you in grief when losing a loved one, connecting them with them in the spirit world. So I love those. And I came upon this, which looks like St. John's wort, but it's the biggest St. John's wort flower I've ever seen. So it's very different from what I'm used to in St. John's wort, but I believe it might just be a different kind of St. John's wort. Yeah, those are really beautiful. And then we have more of our fleabane, which I talked about the other day. The light, delicate, feminine energy about fleabane. Same with these. There's a very delicate nature about them. A very delicate feminine. Those are little berry trees that are good for the birdies. A lot of branches and trees down in the water right now. I have a weird thing about deep water. I don't know if anybody has the same fear, but if it's like super shallow, like just deep enough here I can walk in and I know that there's nothing in it, totally cool. But once it gets to a certain depth where it's dark and I can't see what's in the water, it will make me panic and I don't want to get in the water. I don't know what I'm scared of because we're in Wisconsin. There's not a whole lot in our waters. I mean, there's a lot of bottom feeders that can be big, like the gar. But in general, we don't really have anything that's going to hurt you. I mean, we do have snakes, but again, none that are super harmful. Oh, there's a bird. I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to zoom in, but I don't see it. There it is. Right there. Right here. Okay, I'm going to zoom out. If you can see it right there. Love it. So cute. I always love when I walk around and I always tell my kids that animals can sense when a human is not a threat to them. I always notice that when I'm out in nature, and I always say this about nature photographers, because you can tell that the animals just have a trust for them because they know that they're not there to hurt them. And it's really beautiful to see that type of relationship with animals and humans when we know that we're not going to harm them. and they can trust us. There's an energy to that. Now here's another flower. I believe this is American bellflower. The bellflowers I've worked with look different from this, and they're smaller, but these are really cool. If you can see that, I don't know if you can. I'm trying to get in. It does not want to focus. And when there we go. Yeah, so those are the way they're growing out here is really cool. But look at how much of this soil has eroded away from the rains and heavy waters that come through here. Like I said, this is fairly shallow for this water. Oftentimes when there's summer rain, by the way, that's such a beautiful image right there. The waters can get high, and there's been a decent amount of flooding. So there has been times where water was all the way up here, rushing waters where we wouldn't even be able to walk through here. And right now it's to my ankle. Kind of crazy. And if I keep walking here, quite a bit more I can explore. And again, this is the most shallow I've ever seen this water. But I'm going to stop here because I need to go back and check on my kids. But if I ever get back here, I'm going to go beyond this point.